Okay, story time part 1. So I get a report that an inmate needs to speak with me about a relationship that they've been having with an officer. So we're going to refer to this officer as Officer M. Officer M and this inmate have been having a relationship for years. And when I say for years, I'm talking about 15 plus years. The inmate comes to my office. The inmates let me know, like, them and this officer have been kicking it for like 15 years. Like, it hasn't been anything sexual, but they've been real close for 15 years, looking out for each other. Mind you, this inmate had a 30-year sentence. And by the time I got to this particular institution, this inmate had already been there for like 22 years. Now, during the holiday season in this particular state that I was working in, inmates get 2 special boxes a year. They have a winter box around Christmas time, and then they have a spring box in the springtime. The inmate lets me know, like, well, while I've been back here, I've been looking out for her. She's been looking out for me. She's supposed to make sure I have my Christmas box and my spring box. And, I've been letting her use my credit. And these boxes consist of items that they can't necessarily buy in the commissary at the institution that they're at. So it's like a specialty box that you get. So now my antenna's up, like letting her use your credit. When people been incarcerated for a long time, they haven't used their credit. They don't have bad credit. They don't have good credit. They don't have no damn credit. So basically, the officer had taken on this inmate's identity outside of the institution. She had a house in this inmate's name, credit cards, a car, you name it, she had it. And the agreement between her and the inmate is that she would make sure that the inmate was good on the inside. She would always have money on her books. She would have her spring box. She would have her winter box. Well,
there's a saying that I learned very early on in my career, and it was that an inmate is an inmate is an inmate. And what that means is that I don't necessarily feel like you're a bad person or think you're a bad person. However, there's a line that we just cannot cross. And I know that if I fuck up one time, just one time, you got my career, like you got my whole entire career. I also learned that men are trifling, but females are treacherous. And I noticed in the comments, some of y'all saying, oh, what happened? He told on her because she didn't give him the box. Nah, these were 2 females. So the inmate informs me that not only did Officer M miss the box, but Officer M has not been putting any money on her books. And this inmate was going up for parole, and it was a great chance that she... Now I'm asking the inmate, like, what is your end goal? Why are you coming to me now telling me this? If this has been going on for like 15 plus years, like what happened so bad that now you need to snitch? Inmate says, look, she didn't put no money on my books. She haven't been putting money on my books for the last couple of months. She also missed my box. And she's talking to an old girl in the other dormitory. So I'm like, all right, cool. But you coming to Officer Hernandez with this shit right here? Like, where's your proof? Like, you snitching on this lady? Like, you about to have her lose her job? Like, I need some evidence. Like, I don't take inmate word. Y'all, why does inmate come back with proof? She came back with letters between her and Officer M. She comes back with credit card statements. And then she lets me know that tonight at such and such time, Officer M is going to be putting money on the green dot card at such and such time. And then at 8:15, I'm supposed to call her. So I'm like, cool, I'm going to be on the phone too. They on the phone, hard down arguing. She's questioning her about how she going to let old girl move in. She know that she got to move in. She don't have no family. She know what time it was. They've been going strong. The inmate that's doing the snitching, she's going up for parole. So chances are she's going to be released. It's looking real good for her. Like everything is looking real good. She doesn't have any family to go home to. Like her family pretty much cut ties with her when she got that 30-year sentence. And keep in mind, like I told you, she had already been there for like 22 years when I got to that institution. All right. So now the inmate in the other dormitory, her release date is coming up. It's scheduled to come up. And word around the compound is that the officer is going to allow old girl to come live with her. So the full investigation took like a couple of weeks. It didn't take long. But in the meantime, the inmate that's snitching and the new inmate that the officer's messing with in the other dormitory, they get in a fight on the yard. So upon the investigation, the officer was definitely guilty. The other inmate also told on her because now you don't have a place to live because this house is in this other inmate's name and this inmate's being released. Not only did this officer lose the place that she was living, the credit cards, all the material things, but she also lost her pension. And Officer M only had 3 more years left to retire. There were also criminal charges that was filed against this officer. She was charged with identity theft and employee-inmate relations. And for those of y'all that don't know, when you're charged with employee-inmate relations as a state official or correctional officer, you have to register as a sex offender for the rest of your life. That pretty much concludes the story time for Officer M. If y'all want more stories, let me know. I got 16 years worth.